Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now let's get the fishing stuff out of the way, because it is hunting season, for crying out. I'm just teasing. I know not all of you are out there chasing deer around, elk around, birds around. I understand. We'll get there in a second. Overall this week, the reports that I were getting from some friends that are fishing up and down the coast. I got no reports from here locally at all, which is pretty normal for this time of year. Pretty much all the reports have been coming out of river systems because there was enough water for that this past week. Now, a lot of that's dropped out. We'll have river levels for you here in just a little bit. And you're also going to see some significant changes that are coming, which is all good stuff. A lot of systems closed down now for retention of Chinook after the 1st of December. So pay attention to what systems you like to fish, what rivers it is that you like to spend your time on, and make sure that what you're looking at is going to stay open longer if you still like to fish into December. The two rivers that I love to fish have always been my favorite time, has been in December, and one of them unfortunately is no longer available. But always pay attention to those. As that's all been dropping out, though, some of the reports coming out of the bays have been promising. Not great by any means, but certainly some options that are up and down the coast. And again, it's November. It's the first week in November. You're still in fall Chinook season. Definitely something to keep in mind. And the chum fishing in some of the rivers that get them has been just ridiculous. Double-digit numbers per rod for folks that are out there either floating or walking in, has been pretty interesting. So if you love that kind of fishing, and I sure hope that you do, that's one of my favorite ways to go after them. It just crosses over with duck season. It has been good. So you just got to pay attention to the rivers, pay attention to what is and isn't open, and those options are very good. Now, when you're talking about what I've been doing this week, which was working too much, but got out a couple of times to chase some birds. Monday was very, very tough when you're talking about basically summertime weather, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for that matter. Really wasn't the best weather to be out trying to chase ducks around. Problem for me this week was lack of water. The photo that I'm going to show you here in a second, not yet, was on, I want to say on Thursday or Tuesday. No, it was Wednesday. They blur together. Ran out of water in about 2 hours. I mean, literally. Watching the tide and watching what they're projecting to actually have happen is more of just a reference point. We've talked about this over the years. It just didn't stay up as high as I thought it was going to stay, and I got lucky. I did some recent mods to my duck boat, and it was a good thing that I did because I put myself into a situation where if I didn't have a little bit shallower running capability, I may have been in some pretty serious trouble. But by the time I was done hunting, all my decoys are laying on their sides because literally just ran out of water. That lower river can just be treacherous, and for all of you that spend time down there, you know what I'm referring to. And that's exactly what happened. A little bit of luck to get out of there, but I was also lucky enough to get a limit of birds. So we'll show that photo to you. A little bit dirty. I'm not arguing, though. It was a tough day. It was basically summertime conditions, staring at the sun. It was just one of those situations with the way the wind was. I had to set up with the sun in my face, and that's never a good thing. But yeah, a little dirty limit, couple of teal, widgeon, mallard. Should have actually had more mallards on that particular day, but with the water the way it was, and I hate to stretch shots. I've talked about that over the years. Duck hunting is not pass shooting. It's feet down, trying to land in the decoys. That's duck hunting. I had to take what I could get, and I was happy to get what I got because Drago had a very good day. He didn't have to deal with a lot of water. I mean, it makes it kind of easy on him. So overall, if you're like me and you're chasing birds, I would say we actually, in the areas that I scouted and spent my time, it seemed like there was less birds around this week than there was the week prior. But that could absolutely just be that they didn't move because there was no reason for them to do so with very low water and, again, basically summertime conditions, no wind to speak of, and just not great conditions. But that's going to change, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about that, not just for where I spend my time, the entire state, east side, north, and south. We're going to get a lot of water that comes into the area. We'll find out from Carly in just a little bit how much that's actually going to be. But let's take a look at some of the river levels, and you can actually see what's going to happen. The Columbia is expected to make a pretty interesting bounce, good and bad. overall good because it's going to give you some options, but it's going to take a little while for birds to kind of get used to it. And of course, the fish will love this because it'll help them make moves either through the main stem or into their tributaries overall. But as we start working our way down a little bit higher, at least from here, Bonneville has been very, very stable. They haven't done anything. So that's not going to change much below Bonneville. And again, it's that time of year. They always hold that water like that. And the fishing up there, I would expect has kind of dropped off as well. Any of these tributaries, doesn't matter what they are, they're all expecting a pretty significant bounce. But like we've talked about in the past, anything on the backside of it's going to be good stuff. Fishing any of these smaller rivers on a rise is just simply not your best option, although it can be done. Clarity and, of course, flow, all those things come into play, but you're looking more towards that latter part of this upcoming week for conditions that might be more favorable, although probably still well off color, probably lots and lots of leaves in the system itself, but this will flush everything. Any leaves that are already on the ground are going to get lifted off, of course, and then get that ultimate flush out of there, which is what a lot of us wait for if you like to fish those tribs. So this is all great stuff. Again, as things change, start planning ahead for how you want to go after them, because like I said, and I've said it here on the show forever, my favorite month to chase fall Chinook is in December, although some of those options are no longer available. If you want some free scent, though, send my buddy Jason Hambley over there at Procure an email. Every Saturday and Sunday they do this for us. We truly appreciate them doing this giveaway for us as things have changed since the last 3 or 4 years to do giveaways, but they do this each week. The winner is picked every Monday morning, and hopefully you have that option. Or hopefully you're the lucky one and win this upcoming prize pack. Remember, steelhead pack, yes, that's not too far away to start talking about winter steelhead, but that's not yet. We still got some options that are out there, and this scent, of course, will help you. But weather, right? Rain. Let's check in with Carly and find out what's going on. And I got to tell you, Carly, I love what's in your forecast already.
Thank you so much. Yes, well, I knew that you'd be delighted. And if my dress is any indication, we're going to see a lot of water this week. But just for today, we'll have mostly cloud cover, regardless of where you are in the state. But our first lighter system hits this evening right around 6 o'clock. That won't bring too much in terms of rain totals, probably just about 1/10 of an inch to Portland. Temperature-wise, regardless of where you are in the state, we'll be in the low to mid 50s there. Now, yes, like I said, some cloud cover today. That first system hits this evening. Now, tomorrow afternoon at right around 2, we'll start to see the evidence of the next system there here in Portland and along the coast. That should bring about 1 inch of rain at least throughout tomorrow and on Monday as well. Monday we'll have some more in and out showers than tomorrow, but should still be pretty consistent there. Tuesday evening, we'll have another system then as well, bringing yet at least another inch between Tuesday and Wednesday. And I expect between this evening and Thursday, we will receive about 3 to 5 inches of rain in Portland proper. Along the coast, it will be upwards of 5 inches of rain as well. So get out your umbrellas, folks. It is going to be a wet week.
And I haven't noticed any flood warnings yet, everyone, but if you live up and down the coast with that kind of a report from Carly, you need to pay attention to what those flood or the water levels might do as we go through this upcoming week. But hey, great forecast. I hope that when we see you tomorrow, that maybe that Friday and Saturday might have some more rain in there.
Yeah, we might have some more information for you.
Very good. Carly, have a great Saturday. We appreciate it as always. All right, let's check in with Joel from Applegate. Now, a lot of you are going to recognize him. Joel from Troutdale. But Joel moved. He's down in Applegate. Joel, how are things down south?
I love it down there.
Good.
I have turkey and deer on the property. I've seen cougar, a gray fox, gold eagle. Yeah, I love this new property down there. It's awesome.
Congrats, man. I'm glad that you enjoy it. That's great. Looks like you've got a reminder for hunt reports. What's going on?
Well, kind of like you always say, don't ask me how I know, but yeah, don't forget to turn in your hunt reports. They'll get you for $25.
Yep, and I've had to pay that more than once just because I didn't
I just got it from 2 years ago. I didn't hunt last year, but yeah, they got me when I went and get my tag. little frustrating when you come out and you got a fork and horn standing right 40 feet from your front door and you can't do anything about it because you got neighbors.
Well, you should have bought different property where you can shoot there. I'm just teasing.
Well,
you're down there in Applegate. Have you been doing any fishing down there? Any reports that you can share from some of the rivers down there?
So on the first, the Upper Rogue opened for fish and bait. Got out there. A good friend of mine down there is a guide. He was like, I'm taking you guys out. I normally save this for family and stuff, but he hadn't done it for a while, and he took me and a friend out. Went to the boat, lost 2. My buddy lost 2. Sent the picture in. Ryan hasn't found it yet, but it'll be there. Be sitting there holding that nice steelhead up in front of you, right in front of the camera. What an awesome day, man. And we caught so many of these Rogue River trout and cutthroat.
Oh.
Boy, they're little scrappers, man.
Yeah, I've never been able to get in on that fishing. That sounds like it'd be a fun one. If I remember correctly, half-pounders were a thing handfuls of years ago. Is that still a thing down there on the Rogue?
You know, a lot of those guys were running probably right about that. We let all the trout go because we were just concentrating on steelhead that day.
Gotcha.
I didn't even check with Jeremy to see if we could even keep the trout. I wasn't interested in them. I do a lot of catch and release anyway. You know, it's the thrill of the tug on the line and just get the adrenaline going, you know.
Very good. Well, Joel, I'm glad that you enjoyed living down there in the southern part of Oregon, and Applegate is a beautiful part of the world. We'd love to hear more reports from down there when you get the chance, Joel. Good to hear from you, man.
I told you a while back, you used to call me your roving reporter, and now that I'm down here, I'm going to start hitting some of the mountain lakes, and I'll send you in a bunch more reports from Southern Oregon. I'm trying to get the word out more about your show down here.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful part of the area, and we're definitely down there. So, Joel, we'd love to hear from you.
Right now.
We'd love to hear from you in the future, okay, bud? Be safe down there. Have some fun. All right, that's Joel from Now Applegate. Everyone, if you've watched the show for a handful of years, you know who Joel is. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, I've got Billy Sanborn here from Beach Bandit Crab Snares. This is just cool. It's one of those ways that you can go chase crab from the bank. You don't have to have a boat, but be successful. That's a pretty vital key to it, right? It's all about location, but you got to have the right setup as well. We'll have that when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.